Hola amigos, guess why I'm speaking Espanol? Today we're going to learn about a continent where many of the people speak Espanol. But first, I think we should review all of our continents with our favorite continent song. Ready? Make sure you sing with me. 7 continents in our world, 7 continents in our world. North America, South America, Antarctica, Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia. These are the continents in our world. We live in North America. Remember, we live in North America, right? Up here. We live in California, which is right along the Pacific coast there. We've also learned about the largest continent, Asia, right? That's where we could see pandas and tigers, and where you will find China and Japan and India. We've also learned about the coldest continent, Antarctica. It's really just one continent, right? An island continent that's at the bottom of our Earth. Right there, it's south, at the South Pole. And we've learned about Europe when we talked about kings and queens and castles and all the different countries in Europe, like France and Italy and Spain. But now we're going to talk about this continent. Does anyone know what continent this one is? On our map, it's pink, right? But in real life, if you go visit this continent, it will not be pink. It will have land like other continents that's made of soil. It will have mountains, it will have forests, it will have deserts, and it will even have snow in places. This continent is south of North America. So do you know what we call it? We call it South America. If you traveled for days and days and days from California, if you traveled south, you would cross Mexico and cross Central America and get to South America. See where it is on our globe? Underneath North America. I have a book that I want to show you about South America. Actually, 2 books that we're going to read. Where could you hear birds screech in the world's largest tropical rainforest? The continent of South America. A continent is a big piece of land. There are 7 continents on Earth. You already knew that, right? And there's South America. Whoosh! Oceans lie on either side of South America. Let's look at our map again. See, there's the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. So oceans on both sides. Even up here, it's almost oceans all the way around. The coastlines of South America are long. South Americans enjoy the sandy beaches along the coasts. South America has many rivers. The continent's longest river is the Amazon. It's one of the world's largest rivers. Waterfalls crash over cliffs into some rivers. Angel Falls, which is one of the continent's biggest waterfalls, Angel Falls drops a long way down into the Huron River. Do you remember the largest rainforest? It's called the Amazon rainforest. South America also has mountains, grasslands, and deserts. Lots of different kinds of land. The Andes Mountains stretch in a long line from northern South America to southern South America. Let's look at our map over here and we can see where the Andes Mountains are. Here's another map of South America. The Andes Mountains go all the way from the top to the bottom of the west coast of South America. Bah, bah. Farmers raise animals and crops in small areas near the Andes, high in the mountains. Wide grasslands cover much of South America. The grasslands in the south are called the pampas. Moo, large herds of cattle eat the grasses of the pampas. Let's look at our map again. Argentina and Chile has a lot of cattle farms like that, lots of cows being raised in that area. The Atacama Desert is the driest place in South America. The Atacama gets almost no rain. South America is home to lots of different kinds of animals. These llamas live in the Andes. That's the mountains, remember? A toucan sits on a branch in South America's rainforest. Look at its large bill, its large beak. Penguins make their homes in the far south of South America. Did you think penguins lived in South America? We've always learned that penguins live in Antarctica, right? But guess what? The bottom part of South America is so close to Antarctica that you will find penguins there too. Also, you'll find some in the bottom parts of Africa and Australia. So close to Antarctica, right? It's very cold down there at the bottom part of South America. Flowers and trees grow well in many parts of South America. The wood of the balsa tree is strong and light and easy to carry. In the rainforest, you'll find rubber trees, and those are very important trees for our earth. Lots of different kinds of trees in the rainforest. Beautiful tropical orchids give off a sweet smell. You'll find them in the rainforest too. But there's not just forests in South America. There's also big cities like this one. South America has 12 countries. The continent also has one territory that isn't a country. Let's look at our map again. Okay, here's all the 12 countries, and this 13, this one's really not, we don't call it a country, it's a French territory, French Guiana. Belongs to France. This is the city of Buenos Aires in the country of Argentina. That's one of the biggest countries right down here. It's not the biggest, it's the second biggest, Argentina, where Buenos Aires is. There's more than 350 million people on the whole continent of South America, and most of the South Americans live in the cities. But of course, some live in the forests and in the mountains too. Brazil is the continent's largest country. Let's find Brazil. Can you guess which one it is? It's the largest. This one, right? Look how big it is compared to all the other countries. Huge. Here's Brazil on this map. And Brazil is where you will find the city of Rio de Janeiro, a very famous city in eastern Brazil that a lot of people like to go and visit. Okay, I have another book that's going to tell us even more about South America. This continent is home to the world's largest rainforest. We already learned that, right? And also home to the world's driest desert. Here is a jaguar in Brazil, in the rainforest. Isn't it beautiful? There are many kinds of animals. Look at all these different kinds of animals, even many more than that. Many kinds of animals in South America, so many that we're going to learn about some of them in another video. South America has 12 countries. We already learned that, right? Farming is very important here. Many foods come from this continent. Many of the foods that we eat here in North America, we get from South America. Bananas are definitely one of the most popular ones that you might get from South America. Also, sometimes we get potatoes and tomatoes and other fruits and vegetables. Sometimes people get beef from South America too. Most big cities in South America are near the coasts, near the oceans, like this one, Rio de Janeiro, remember? That's a very crowded beach. Here is another map that shows all the countries. The land. The world's largest mountain range and its second longest river are here in South America. The Andes mountain range stretches down the west side of South America, and some of the mountains are volcanoes. Cool. So here's the Andes mountain range, all the way from the top to the bottom of South America. And in the Andes is a lake. Here it is on this map. This lake in the Andes is in between Peru and Bolivia, and it has, the reason I like to talk about this lake is because I think it has such a funny name. You want to hear what the name of that lake is? It's called Lake Titicaca. Isn't that funny? Lake Titicaca is high in the mountains in the Andes. Also, South America has one of the world's largest rivers. It's very long, called the Amazon. It snakes through the Amazon rainforest. See, all the way here through the rainforest. The Atacama Desert in Chile is the driest place on Earth. Here's the Atacama Desert. There are parts of the Atacama Desert that haven't seen any rain since people began keeping weather records 400 years ago. That means, so it hasn't, there are parts of this desert in Chile that it hasn't rained for years and years and years and years. Where's Chile on our map? That's the long, skinny one here. Look at, that's an unusual shape for a country, right? That's where that desert is. The weather, it's very unusual because South America has really some very different kinds of weather depending on where you are. If you're in the northern half of South America, it's hot and rainy. The Amazon rainforest is here. Parts of the forest get up to 9 feet of rain a year. Wow, that's a lot. The southern tip of South America is very, very cold. That's because it's so far away from the equator, so far away from the middle of our Earth where it's the hottest. Giant ice sheets cover some parts of the land here, like the Glacier National Park in Patagonia, which is in Argentina. So Patagonia is a part of Argentina where you can find these glacier fields. What does that look like to you? Does that remind you of another continent? It reminds me of Antarctica. And that makes sense because that place, Patagonia, is down here. And look how close that is to Antarctica. The people. Hola. That's how most people say hello in South America. Very long ago, people made their way from Asia across North America into South America. So let's look at that on the map. Here's Asia, right? And this part of Asia is over here. Maybe that's easier to see on our globe. This part of Asia, people believe that the first human beings on Earth came from parts of Asia and parts of Africa. And that eventually those people traveled across Asia, across North America, down the continent of North America until they reached South America. So over time, those people built great cities, big cities. People from Europe and Africa came later. Today, most South Americans are related to Asian, European, or African groups. Portuguese and Spanish are the main languages that you will find people speaking throughout South America. Here's a Peruvian girl. Look at her colorful clothing. In Peru, you will see lots of people wearing clothing made out of llama wool from llamas and alpacas. And they dye it with these beautiful, cool colors, right? These people are river rafting in Ecuador. This kid is playing soccer, but they don't call it soccer in South America. They call it football. Soccer is the most popular sport all over South America. You guys like to play soccer too, right? Here are just some of the animals. Critters in a rainbow of colors. A wide variety of animals live in South America. There are blue and yellow macaws, poison dart frogs, pink river dolphins in the rainforest of South America. You'll find llamas in the mountains, and armadillos live in different areas of the continent. This one is called a guanaco. It's related to a camel. It looks a little bit like a llama. Guanacos live on the plains and plateaus and coastlines of Peru, Chile, and Argentina, and also in the Andes Mountains. Look at those tall, pointy, you can tell that that's the Andes Mountains, right? This is one of the coolest things to see in the Andes Mountains in Peru. Let's see where it is. This is Peru. This is Peru. That's where you will find, they call this the lost city of the Inca. Travelers hike a long way to see stone ruins on a mountaintop in Peru. The site is called Machu Picchu. That's fun to say. Can you say that? Machu Picchu. It's known as the lost city of the Inca. The Inca were ancient South American people. So they say those were some of the first people in South America that built this city, and they're not really sure what they used this city for or why they built it, because the Inca had no written language. So there's no record of why this magnificent site was built or what it was used for. It's kind of mysterious. And it's so high in the mountains, it's 8,000 feet high in the Andes Mountains. That is higher than any mountain I've ever been to. Probably any mountain you've ever been to too. Many South Americans celebrate Carnival. It's a festival season, usually in February. In Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, people wear colorful costumes and dance in the streets. It's kind of like a parade. That looks fun, right? Carnival. Okay, so that's a lot to learn about South America, right? We really enjoy learning about all the animals that live in South America because there's some really cool ones. So we're going to do another video and another couple of books about South American animals next. See you later.